How are you, lads? We're here in Duagh, just outside, where are we? Just outside Listowel, halfway between Listowel and Abbeyfield. Bit of a silage day. There is some savage gear here. There's internationals, there's a fabulous looking Heston harvester. There's Zetors to be at the bend. There's internationals. There's everything here. What a fantastic, oh, this is savage. Come here to me. The other thing is, there's an auction in Clifford's Garage in Ballymakelligas, halfway between Tralee and Cashel Island, on the 23rd of August. I have a few videos up there of the stuff they have. You might have seen them. Give it a call out. Their viewing times are from, 9 to 6 Monday to Friday, and they're open to 1 o'clock on Saturday. So call out and see what they have. They might have something for you. And yeah, let's turn the camera. There's a shot of internationals. Willie O'Connor's coming here with a savage looking Valtra and a Tarup. And yeah, let's turn it and see what they have for us. Alright guys, come on. Man, the internationals after pulling out of the stroke. Willie O'Connor's coming behind him. Willie, you're putting him under desperate pressure, man. I absolutely love these events. Oh man, the internationals coming back in. Oh, there's the Heston. No, the Heston's not coming down again. That's Willie. I think Willie's something some of you might know Willie. He drives the lorry there, but I think his father was at Silage as well for years. It's not his first day out. Two nice Valtras. We have a bit of a split here with the international coming up the middle with a single chop Tarup, and we have another Valtra and a John Deere on the outside. We have a fleet of Fords. Tarup and side mounted single chop, and we have a trail double chop coming next. That's a nice international there, lads. What is she? A 1056 XL. He's a savage looking horse. What is she? A 1014 horse. That's Shane Lyons. Shane Lyons from Village Island. He does his own silage there below there. Now, we're looking for donations here for Paul. If anyone wants to donate a few pounds to Paul, we're hoping to plant a few trees to offset the smoke, to offset his carbon footprint. This is a single chop trail kid harvester. Like I said, we need to plant, Paul, we need to gather a few pounds so you can plant a few trees. Outfits coming here again. A Zetor in the background with a kid double chop, and with Willie Connor again here with his Tarup double chop with a lovely Ford 4000. That auction is taking part in Clifford's Bell in McKelligot. They have a couple of nice Fords. They have a lovely Ford 5000 there. She's an horse, let's say, still is better. What a wet. Nice lead trailer. Lead trailer called Waterford City, Paddy Lee. That kid is going well, lads. More stuff coming here. We have a Dites. Dites far. We could do them more around the place. So there's a couple of double precision chops above with nothing to do. Dites and Far, of course, two different companies that came together to come up with Dites Far. Nice Ford 7740. A Tarup single chop. The problem with these a lot of times was the wind. Even a day like today, it's fairly calm. They're cutting so little grass. The grass would actually get caught in the wind and get blown away. It's running. Nice Ford 7000 4-wheel drive. 7610 Ford. What's she, a 1490 David Brown, beautiful tractor. What a sight that outfit would have been now gone back in the early 80s. Christ almighty, imagine that coming into your yard. Slight change of crew here. Nice Zetor. Zetor, of course, Czechoslovakian company. Zetor are 80 years this year. Some people might argue they're 81, they're 80 next year. But there was a competition launched in 1945 for Zetor. So in Czechoslovakia to launch to what do I call it, to design and build a tractor. It was launched in November 1945, but the first Zetor didn't come off the production line until March 1946. So I'm going with 45. So, am I right in saying 8 years? Fella told me one time that he was cut silage, and he reckoned 7 acres was a good day. Here comes Paul again, and I'd like to thank everyone who was generously donated to Paul. We have something like 47 euros got down, 47 euros and 53 pence. And we're going to set a couple of trees to offset Paul's carbon footprint. That's this field done. We're moving in here now next door over here, and I think when I'm told there's another 14 acres over there. So yeah, hold tough, we're getting there. Mighty crack, savage machinery, and fair play to everyone that was stuck in this and the organisation and everything. Like, this isn't something that was dreamt up yesterday. Like, this has to start 6 or 7 weeks ago, spreading fertiliser. You hope for a dry day, even though there's a storm forecast for tonight, the 3rd of August. But yeah, let's crack on into the next field. Alright lads, here we have the one and only self-propelled that's here. A Feed Agri Heston. I believe Heston was an American company, and they marketed the Feet 11090 and the Feet 16090. They marketed them in America as Hestons. That is a clean 6170 Massey there. We're at you. Here comes Paul again at your thoughts, so you might like to know. I think we have €100 out the moment for Paul to buy a couple of trees. So I presume, look, if we give it €40, €30 a tree, so that's 2.5 or maybe 3 trees. So, like, you know, yeah, we're going well now. We have our Jites again. We have our Valtra, and a very nice over on the far side. I'd say what it is, a 290. That is some ball of a harvester, I tell you that much. She a JF stool. A 290 Massey would have been the tractor of choice after the 165, I believe. What's the speed difference? Single chop, the trail precision chop, and the self-propelled precision chop. That's some tractor, the 160/90. Of course, Feet are the overall parent company for the whole lot now. Feet own New Holland, Feet own Case. We're going well here now, lads. Valtra, of course. Valtra Vanless. Valtra were Volvo at one stage. Part of Volvo now. John Deere. I drove a 6.8 John Deere for 2.5 years at Silage. 97C it was. Actually, there's a lovely 7.6 in Clifford's auction in Ballymackelliget, just outside Tralee on the 23rd of August. It's a nice 7.6. Now, she needs to be painted and stuff. She's in very original shape, but she needs, I think that the engine's good in it, the clutch is good in it, the back end is good in it, but it's there for you. Q-cab. That's so rattle off that teeth, lad. Some savage action, lads. I'm gonna go over here and give a look at this yoke. She's a Nurses, I would presume, but she's painted a different colour. She might be an import, I don't know. That chain line's coming down the middle. coming down and a savage looking international. I'll tell you one thing, lads, she's well able to cut. There is some serious action going on here. The trailer's waiting at the top for loads. Problems. This trailer coming down here, a bit of a story about this trailer. This trailer was actually built by a cousin of mine for Thomas Moynihan in camp. Built by McCarthy's, Tom McCarthy's, the forge in a hostler. And I have the partner of this trailer. I have the partner of that trailer. They should have been, they were originally done by timber rails, but I have timber rails of mine, but they were built by Tom McCarthy in the early 80s in Hostel Castle Gregory, West Kerry, for Thomas Moynihan. Like I said, I have the partner of that trailer. When I say the partner of the trailer, the man built two of them the same year. They both ended up in the same farm. I bought one of them, Shane Lyons bought the other one. comes the Heston again. Black International. .4240 John Deere, 4248. What a weapon. I drove one for part of the year, drawn Silage with Connie Fitzgerald in Fadden 4, if anyone knows of him. Connie fortunately passed away a couple of years ago. He had one of what a weapon of a tractor. Right guys, my battery's gone to the red. I don't know what's left in it, but we're sure we'll video away. And like I said, give a like, give a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you can, check out Clifford's tractor auction. Michael Doyle is the auctioneer. You can walk in there any day to see the stuff. There's about 60 tractors there at the moment. And they're not all new, they're all vintage and classic. There's Ford Fergusons, there's two Ferguson Browns. There's some more stuff. There must be 15 different varieties of 20 diesels, TVOs, TVO diesels, TVO petrols rather. There's Land's Bulldogs. I'm trying to think what else is there. There is literally everything else there. was hoping Paul would do this, so you could get a look at the harvester. And the kid harvester was also done up as like a mower. Not that one, no. But this one, you could fix a chute in the back of it and it would blow the grass out down the ground. Same as a mower, same as if you were cutting hay. Come on, Paul boy! Just close the door on it and throws it out down the ground. If you wanted to wilt it now or dry it out a bit or anything. I've seen a lot of kid harvesters, but that's the only one I've seen with that kind of an attachment in it. I still didn't get all the gear, but I just see a 30-50 over there. And there's a grey Ferguson after landing. The grey Ferguson's going under the chute of the precision shop. Fucking hell, lads. Hopefully they'll come over this way and we get a bit of it. But that's a nice outfit now. The grey Ferguson under the chute of the JF stool. On over this way, turn left. I like this David Brown. I think I was talking to him the other day actually. I like the weight in the front of it. Nice 6.6. And then a Brown is puffing, lads. 2045 Crystal doing a bit of mowing. Stupid information for you. Dites, Mr. Dites was at one stage going to buy out Leyland. But when he came to check out the factory, no, he wasn't going to continue Leyland. He was going to make Dites in some part of Scotland. And when he came there, when the Leyland staff heard he was coming, they decided they were going to go on strike. Because now, not the manufacturing side of things, believe it or believe it not, the cleaners. And the idea was they were using brushes all along to clean the factory, and I suppose whatever, and they were after getting hoovers for hoovering under the machines and whatnot, and the cleaners decided they were going to go on strike so they would get machine operator wages. So you could have had a Leyland Dites Far or Dites Far Leyland. Instead, Marshall took it over. 4240 is coming up the middle, and they are an absolutely handsome tractor. Like I said, I drove one for a while, for a year nearly, with Connie Fitzgerald at Throttle 4. And what an animal. I tell you one thing, I don't know what horsepower Connie Fitzgerald's ones was, but it would never, ever, ever fail. It would actually stay going. She would do serious damage to herself before she'd fail. What a beast. 85 Limerick. I tell you one thing, that Heston is well able to pick up grass. Imagine that outfit around 84 or 94 or 5, whatever year the Heston is. Use a slightly better trailer, alright, but till we get over that. I love that old John Deere, lads. Look at the size of it, lads. What's the S for? Can anyone tell me? Connie Fitzgerald told me he knew a fella with a 4240 and theirs was a 4240S. And the only difference that he could figure out was his one had air conditioning. And they bought it brand new inside in Connie Nolan's, or Niall Nolan's now inside in Tralee. have a look at the John Deere. My battery now is on 3% and it's flashing red, so we're nearly all over. And if you're still here at the end of it, thank you. %, lads. Pressure on. The Heston and the 6.8 are coming. We'll hardly see it out. We're on 1%, lads. Thanks very much. A fair play to everyone who organised this day. What a day, and you were absolutely blessed with the weather, considering there's a storm forecast for later on tonight.